guys, welcome back. This is the Big Sew Along and I'm Jenny. And as always, thank you so much for stopping by. I have a lot to talk about today, I think. What are we talking about? We are talking about primarily how I did with my goals in January. Before we get to that, I have a couple comments from last week and the week before about our Japants. Goat Gal asked how you would determine how much fabric you need for those Japanese pattern recipes that we had been talking about. My general rule is if it's 45-inch wide fabric or 60-inch fabric, I always buy 2 lengths. So if I'm making pants, I would measure my waist to my hem, double that, and then add 1/4 yard so I have extra for waistband and hem and stuff like that. If it's a dress or a top, I would do the same thing, measure shoulder to hem, and then double that. If it's got long sleeves, you need 3/4 yard extra because your sleeves are going to take 3/4 yard. If it's shorter sleeves, it can be 1/2 yard. But that's my general rule. For the bodice, it would be the length twice plus room for sleeves. Now, if you're smaller, I mean, if you're using 60-inch wide fabric, that's probably more than you need. 45-inch wide fabric, I think you're safe. If you're using 60-inch wide fabric and you're smaller, or even if you're not smaller, that's probably going to be more fabric than you need. My opinion is, because it's hard to determine without actually having pattern pieces to measure, what you can do is actually measure draft out your pattern pieces and then actually measure them. That would give you an idea of how much fabric you would need. I'm just always too lazy for that, and I buy fabric on a whim, so I just guess. But I've never been wrong. I've been wrong. Oh, believe me, I've been wrong. I have never had too little fabric for a project if I choose to use 2 lengths and then additional for sleeves if you're making something with long sleeves. I hope that was more helpful than confusing, but who knows. I don't know how to pronounce this person's name. T-I-N. I'm going to call it Tin, but it's capital T, little I, capital N. Wants to know how I made the patch pockets for the Japants. Really, really simple, but everybody just does patch pockets. Gosh, that's hard to say. Patch pockets probably a little bit differently. So I just ran up a really quick tutorial for you guys showing you how I make them. So I'm going to show you that really quickly, and then we'll get on to how I did with my goals. For a regular square patch pocket, I cut a piece of fabric that is 8 inches wide by 9 inches long. I serged 3 edges, both of the long sides and one of the short sides. The other short side is going to be our top, and I fold that to the wrong side, 1/2 inch down, and press it, and then I fold it back towards the front. So it's folded to the back, and then we're going to fold that over to the front, again 1/2 inch. And I am just using 1/2 inch seam allowances on this, but you can use whatever you like. And I'm going to pin this here, and I'm going to pin it here. And then I'm just going to sew this little flap down right here and right here at my 1/2 inch seam allowance. Now I have that sewn down, I'm just going to clip these corners. You don't want to go lower than that edge of your fold there. And I'm just going to flip that over to the wrong side. We're going to press this down. That's our top hem, and we're going to edge stitch right along here. Before you do the stitching though, go ahead and press all 3 of these other sides in 1/2 inch. Just press them, don't do anything else to them yet. So press those under, all 3, and then press that and give it a stitch right down that center, that edge of your fold. So that's the front of our pocket so far. I'm going to flip this over. And in order to get this to lay really nice and smoothly when we go to put it on our pants or whatever, I'm going to open out these folded edges, and I hope you guys can see these crease lines there. I'm going to trim this corner off just about 1/8 of an inch away from that crease line. Straight across like that. Now, when I go to sew it on, you're still going to have a fold there, so you won't have a raw edge, but it'll be a lot less bulky and easier to get around. So you're going to do that on both corners. Just be sure you don't cut too close, otherwise you'll have a raw edge at that corner. Okay, so a lot of times what I'll do is I'll take a piece of this fusible web. I don't know if you're going to be able to even see that. This is a little wide, so I'm going to cut this in half. Roughly in half. And I would just put a little piece of this right under here, stick it right in that crease, and press it into place. And that'll hold that edge down so that when you're sewing your, obviously I'd put another one down here and another one over here. That way when you're sewing it, you won't have these edges like popping out or moving around on you. Okay, so I hope you guys found that at least a little bit helpful. I know it's just a patch pocket, but everybody does them differently, so I figured, what the heck. So this brings us to how I did with my goals for January. It's now the middle of February, so I think it's safe to say I'll be able to manage to stick to my... Claude's trying to eat my patterns. Stop. Middle of February, so I should be able to stick to my 2 garment goal for February. Let's talk about what I did for January. First thing I did was the Pinafore project, which was right here. In this picture, you can see me wearing my Pinafore the way I wore it to work, which is with a Tina Givens top I made out of a white linen a long time ago. And I think that was a Josie that I just extended the length on, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm also wearing that with my, I can't remember what they're called now, so I'll put the name up here, but it's my yellow Duchess satin cutting line designs pants, and I can't remember what they're called, but I'll put that up here. I love this outfit. I actually like it a lot more than I thought I was gonna like it. I was afraid that Pinafore was gonna feel too like bulky and overwhelming, but it doesn't, and especially after the first couple of washes, it's much softer, and I really like that. Okay, next up would be my Japants, which we just finished. I'll put a picture up here so you guys can see them, but I have not worn these yet. These are really super lightweight, and it's just way too cold for me to wear those yet. I also made a So Liberated metamorphic dress, which I will put a picture of up here. This dress pattern is supposed to have a double layer skirt. I just did a single layer skirt. The double layer skirt has, the outer layer has a curved hem, the under layer has a straight hem. I used the curved hem pattern for the front of my dress and the straight hem pattern for the back. The sides match up perfectly, so it was good. Excuse me. So yeah, and I really love the way this turned out. I have actually already worn this, and I think I have a picture here how I wore it. You'll see it right here. Okay. The other thing I made that was a new garment in January was my complete failure Arthur pants, which you will see up here again. And no, I have not worn them. I've cut them apart, and I'm working on remaking them, but I haven't gone very far yet. I did finish my second Arthur pants, but I really just finished those this week, so those will be in my February makes. You'll probably see them before then, though. Okay. Then I had 2 remakes. One was the River Tunic that I turned into a slip. That was sort of at the beginning of the month. And I'll show you a picture of it here with the way I wore it to my friend's birthday brunch the other day. I'm wearing it in this picture just with my original Japants in off-white, like oatmeal colored linen. and an Alabama chain and sweatshirt that my husband gave me for Christmas. And my gold boots. My very favorite gold boots. I'm really glad that I did that, that I changed that, because I love this as a slip, and I've already worn it twice, and it's still January. Well, it's February now, but it's still winter, and I've already worn it twice. The other remake I had was this pair of Plinka pants that have been sitting on my table, my cutting table, for literally since probably Thanksgiving. They were really long, and they had a giant ruffle on them, so I cut them off thinking that I could just use the ruffle to make a straight cuff instead of a big ruffle. And you know what, I don't know what I was thinking. I cut them way too short, so my ruffle wasn't big enough to make a cuff. Then a few weeks ago, when I was digging around in my scrap bins for something, I came across some of this fabric that I used to make those pants. So I did turn them into full-length pants. I just added a section that was probably about 10 inches long, and I narrowed it a little bit at the bottom. They are now too long, but I like them rolled up. I like them rolled up a lot. And I'm showing those here in this picture. I am wearing those with my, I think I'm wearing them with this top that I have on right now, which is the, I actually made this in February because it was just last week. But this is the matcha top from Liberated. This is a wearable muslin, so actually, yeah, this was February, so it doesn't count to January. Okay, so this is the matcha top wearable muslin. I'm not crazy about this one, but that's down to fabric, and I knew that was a possibility. This is a heavier weight cotton. It is not what I would really choose to make this out of. I have this pretty floral rayon challis, and I'm going to make the sleeveless version of the matcha top out of this, and I'm going to make it even longer than the pink one. I want it to be down around my knees, so it's a good tunic length. And speaking of this, so if you guys remember, when I was originally talking about my January goals, I was saying that maybe like restricting myself to making 2 new garments a week, a month, yeah, that would be right. 2 new garments a month would maybe reduce my pattern and fabric purchases. That turns out to not be true in the least. I did buy 4 patterns from So Different UK from their Layer Up collection. We've all been sort of talking about that here the last few weeks, so I'm going to get to work on a couple of those things. Hopefully, those will probably have to wait till March because we're already in the middle of January. No, again, middle of February. And my big project for February is my So Liberated Lichen Duster. I'm making it out of this. This looks really bright on my camera. It's actually not that bright in person. It's like an orchid color. It looks fuchsia on my camera. But anyways, this is a cotton rayon. Nope. I'm having trouble today, you guys. Linen rayon blend. And I have this piece of vintage dark gray cotton with little bugs all over it. I'm going to use this for my bias for all of my Hong Kong finishes. So I really like these together. Again, I don't think they look great on this camera, but trust me, in person they look really cool. So obviously I'm having a little bit of a So Liberated moment, and thanks to Soxy Mama's suggestion, I also, in addition to buying those So Different UK patterns, I also bought the So Liberated Schoolhouse Tunic, which has been around for a really long time. I've actually really liked it for ages. I never bought it. And then Soxy Mama said that she really liked it for her quilting cottons, and I think that that is kind of perfect, especially heading into spring and summer. Those seem to be like a really good weight for me for warmer months. Alright guys, I think that's it from me this week. Yeah, my goal for February, my big goal for February is just to finish my Lichen Duster, and I will check in with you guys next week and let you know how I'm doing. Until then, happy sewing!